to do is talk about choosing the right tank and knowing what the tank is good for and actually trying to operate it in the best possible way. So for instance, I did a recent video on this E25 and I'm going to show a real short clip shortly about what it can do in relation to damage per minute. And you have a look at the shell over here. It does 120 to 200 damage and its penetration is 173 to 234, so it can penetrate most tanks at its tier. Rate of fire up around 17.5 rounds per minute, so you know that you get that thing in a good spot and just unload on the enemy. Take the bore sig for instance, and you start looking up here with the big gun. 15 centimeter gun, 150 millimeter if you like. Yeah, the rate of fire is low, but you're doing immense damage, 480 to 800. So that's huge. Again, that's a sort of tank. You have a look at the armor, it's pretty low. So you don't want to get hit. You want to kind of be sniping in this tank, or at least popping out from cover, shooting off, and then getting back to cover. So that's the kind of thing you want to do with a bore sig as an example. But you need to know your tanks. You need to know what they're good for. LTTB, Tier 7 Russian tank. Have a look at the stats on it. It's actually got not bad armor, and it can bounce a little bit because of the way that the armor is sloped. Good gun, good rate of fire, but the best thing about the LTTB is its speed, 68 kilometers an hour. So that's a fast tank, which means you can shoot with that reasonable gun, relocate and shoot again. So that's an example of what we can do with the LTTB. Moving up, you know, you're talking something like OBJ263, classic tank, runs on the TD line that is known for being mobile. So again, it's got a speed of 55 kilometers an hour, and it traverses up and down 38.77, which is great. That's the degrees at which it can climb. It's not a fantastic climbing tank, so you wouldn't want to climb up to the top of a hill and try and start sniping with that tank, although you can on some occasions. But you know, you look at the front armor, 250 on the front. Sides are appalling, so it means you got to face your enemy. Have a look at the gun. Rate of fire is up around 8.5 rounds a minute, and look at the damage it can pump out. So you can understand the characteristics of the tank you're going to be driving just by looking at what it can do. You know, take the classic FV215B 183, 183 because that's the size of the cannon, 183 millimeters. Have a look at this baby. 3 rounds a minute. That means you don't have a lot of opportunity to shoot, but when you do shoot, you have a look at what you can do in relation to the gun. The gun itself is absolutely amazing. Up to 1100 roll. That is probably up around the higher end. That's the standard damage. Penetration 277 to 374. There's not much that this thing won't pen. Rate of fire is 3, like I mentioned. Aim time is very slow. So again, you've got to get yourself in a position where you can line your shots up and then take cover quickly, because as soon as you're exposed in this thing, your armor is okay, but it is not brilliant. So you just get hammered from all angles. So and again, you need to know the tank that you're driving, and then you've got to know where to position it on the map. So each map's going to have a different characteristic. Each tank's going to have a different characteristic. For instance, I'm going to show a video on getting position of IS-7. Now you look at the IS-7, mean looking tank, and you look at the armor, 150 at the front, 150 at the sides, 100 in the rear. The turret though, 240. So that says to me, it's a hull down tank, right? If we actually go back to the picture of the IS-7, this lower plate down here, you can pen that quite easy. So you want to have the angles of the front of the tank here working for you, and this amazing turret. What you need to know though, you have a look at the sides of the turret on there. That's a bigger piece for you to hit. So if you're side on, not only are you a bigger target, but that turret actually reduces its thickness on the sides, and the rear of the turret is hopeless. So again, you want to make sure that you're down low and you can bounce a lot of shots using the actual profile of this tank. And so I just hope this is going to give you some understanding of how really good players know their tanks well and they know their maps well. And situational awareness can put a good tank and a good player in the right place at the right time to do the best damage and obviously survive. So let's have a look at a couple of games now, or parts of games anyway. In the E25, which I talked about earlier, look at the speed of it. So I'm using the speed to get to a location where I can be really effective in this game. We do go on to win this game. Sadly, we drew the game. I was the last man standing against a Tiger P with very little hit points left. But see what we're talking about, using the gun to actually just decimate the opponent. Now, that's an autoloader as well. Not everyone uses an autoloader on a T37, so I wasn't expecting that. Caught me a bit off guard. But look what we've just been able to reduce it to, and obviously, you know, the KV2 helped dispatch that guy as well. So, but look, I just keep putting shots in, and they're really good quality shots. End up with a few kills in that game as well. But that's an example of how the E25 and the gun can help, you know, achieve what you're trying to do. Now, another autoloader, AMX50B. What you want to do with this sort of tank is actually get there, unload your whole clip, and then back away to cover and reload again. So keep yourself out of the harm's way until you've got a full clip again. But if you're not putting your full clip in an AMX50B into tanks, you're not helping your team. If you're sitting back waiting for shots, it's not helping. You look at this. Full clip into this guy here actually helps, you know, get rid of this chieftain, which he was actually causing us a lot of drama there at B. We go on again and win this match. So, you know, it's one of those things where it wasn't all my doing, but I contributed to it. Now, I'm about to show you a clip of an IS-7 match. Now, in terms of IS-7, this is what I'm talking about. We're hull down, and all you can see is the turret of the IS-7, and it's got a decent gun on it, but I'm not exposing my whole tank to it. So straight up there into the T30. He's got a very big gun in Tier 9. The T62 is not looking to engage with me direct at this stage. So again, we poke back up again, and I put one into the turret of the Chieftain. Look at that. I bounced a 640 roll from that T30 by looking directly there. So even the T30 with its massive gun couldn't pen the turret of the IS-7. Now, this is a bit different. This is the KV-1S. Now, KV-1S, look at the speed this thing gets along at for a heavy tank. 42, 43 kilometers an hour. It almost keeps up with medium tanks. It's got a slow reload, though. So, again, I'm trying to position myself where I can get a shot because I know the gun is very effective. Now, I drive the KV-1S a bit like a mobile tank destroyer in some regards. I need to get in there, deliver the killer blow, and then get to cover. And I'm about to do that on the tank that was actually causing us a lot of drama, which was that ISU 152. Again, we go on and win this match. Now, it wasn't my doing, but I contributed with 2 kills based on this this tank. And guess what? I killed 2 Tier 7 tanks in a Tier 6 match. So I contributed. And that's all I'm looking to do. I'm not looking for you know, people in my team who sort of sit back and just do a shot here and a shot there. You need to be using your tank in the most effective way to get a result for the team. So I'm supported well here. I see this Tiger P is pushing up to come into the rear of us. But again, I see the opportunity to hit this 152, and he's gone. So SU-152, I think I said ISU before, I meant SU-152. And again, now what I'm going to do is roll round, and I'm going to hit the back of this Tiger P, because I know the front of those are pretty hard to pen, even though I could in this tank. But there we go. This is our second kill. So hopefully that's giving you a bit of insight into what to do in some of these tanks, and you know how to use them, and just try and pick what the best part of the tank is, and apply that to your gameplay, and apply that to the maps. Safe tanking, and I hope it all works out. Keep following the channel and subscribe.